right, ladies and gents, welcome to the Angry Hacks podcast on this Monday, manic Monday, if you will. Lots to talk about tonight in the NFL. We got some basketball tonight, and we got some hockey. And then a little mixed bag of tricks. We'll talk some other stuff. But let me introduce my hacks tonight. Michael Hall, how we doing, brother?
It's a McAdoo Monday.
Ooh.
Another one. There's been a few already.
No, that's pretty good, man. That's good. That's a good word for Monday, but it's negatively. Dave's back with us today. What's up, bro?
How we doing tonight?
I don't know. We're about to find out, I guess. And like always, Stan the man. What's going on, bro?
I'll tell you.
Tell me.
The New York freaking disgrace football freaking Giants are just absolutely pathetic.
Good word.
It's a laughing stock. It's a joke. I can't fully explain it. This is, like you said last week, this is the worst team in football. They are the worst team in football. This team would lose to Alabama right now because they have quit. They've quit on McAdoo. They've quit on each other. It's a joke.
Dude, you have hit it on the head. And I know that we want to start this episode. We want to start this show with this team because, guys, to be honest with you, I was itching last night to freaking tell you guys, let's do it. Because I was hot last night. Here's my thing. And I know you are on board with me. Every day, Ben McAdoo is the head football coach of the New York Giants. The worse it gets for this team. I don't care. I don't care what you say. Anybody. I'm not saying you guys, but anybody else. Oh, why would you fire him now? Just fire him at the end of the season. No, he needs to be gone in about 10 minutes. I want an update on my phone that he's gone. They won't win another game with him at the helm. They won't. Because this team won't play for him. It's plain and simple. They're not playing for him. They're not going to win. They don't want him there. It's very evident. It's so evident, especially in the defense. I don't even want to rip the offense because they're not playing that bad. They really aren't. It's the defense. They don't want him here. They don't want to see him here. And it's ridiculous. I read this comment. I think I sent it to you guys yesterday, how Landon Collins says he's got to be there next year. He's got to be the coach of the Giants next year.
Why?
What the hell kind of drugs are you on?
Did you guys see Ian Rappaport from the NFL Network? You see his response?
No.
What did he say?
Check him for CTE.
Yes, yeah, I did see that. Oh my Lord! Like,
and I think it's a serious comment.
It is a serious comment. It really is, and I think it's ridiculous. Like, what's wrong with this guy? What's wrong with this team? It's just, it's so pathetic, like you said, Rye. And what bothers me about this piece of shit McAdoo is when is this guy ever going to point the finger at himself? He never does. He just bullshits on his post conference about the game itself. Never says it's his fault. Maybe he said, I think he said that he was out coached, but he never blames himself for it. He's got to point the finger at a freaking 2-time Super Bowl MVP quarterback. He's got to point the finger at him once, but not himself. Not himself. A guy who is leading a team that is 1-8. A guy that's leading a team who just lost to the winless 49ers. I mean, somebody else chime in, please. I'm about to blow a gasket.
Well, sometimes these pods, they need to have like an emergency one, because I know exactly what you mean. Doing one like last night at like 6 o'clock, like mid-game, just do a freaking emergency podcast about how bullshit.
Code Red podcast.
And it's awful. And I know, like, I want McAdoo gone. I really do. But I got to say, this Landon Collins thing is concerning. It's concerning to me that he said this, because he must know he must know that they're who the jackasses are in this defense who have quit, and it must be killing him. And he doesn't want to just go out and say it because it could, could really affect his career. I mean, I really. Now, I don't think that gives McAdoo a free pass. I think he's crazy for thinking that. But he's saying this because he must know who these schmoes are that have quit, and it's eating him alive because he's not the type of guy that is taking plays off.
Well, Janoris Jenkins is one of them.
Oh,
I mean, I would think it's Jenkins, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, Ryan, I know you didn't watch much of the game, did you?
No, I didn't. So you have to explain to me.
Well, Dave, I know you watched the game, and it was quite evident in Janoris Jenkins' play that he did not want to be there. It was quite blatant that he was taking many, many, many plays off. He was just a piece of shit. I'm going to say it blindly. A piece of shit last night. And you know what? You know what that does? This is what I'm going to say to him. I want to say to Janoris Jenkins and the other pieces of crap that have quit on this team. And Rye, you have mentioned this. Quitting on McAdoo because they don't want him there, which we know. He's quitting on his other teammates. He's quitting on the other coaches. He's quitting on this organization, and he's quitting on the damn fans, the fan base, which is the most important part of this whole thing. People are going to see this and freaking turn on somebody like that.
Listen, sports don't work without the fans. The only reason why this stuff exists, is because we're talking about it. That's the only reason.
I can't wait till they get booed so bad at home this week. I just can't. It's going to be awful, but I can't wait just to hear the fans just boo all game.
We might turn into Philly fans. Like, we might throw batteries at them. I'd be worried if I was on the Giants.
Throwing beer all over the field. Thank God they don't serve bottles at the game because beer bottles would be thrown all over that field.
What the hell is going on, guys? Because I say this every freaking week. What the hell is going on?
What made me laugh, because I just was listening to something, and apparently when McAdoo was asked about Janoris Jenkins' performance, he goes, well, I got to look at the tape. Like, really? You have to, like, you weren't watching? Like, what were you doing?
No, he was focused on the offense.
But the thing is, like,
I'm kidding.
I know, but I understand that. But, like, that's not the first time I've heard that out of his press conferences this year. It's always like, well, we got to look at the tape. We got to look at the tape. Like, are you even watching your players play? Or are you like, what are you doing?
He's with John Sterling. He can't see it. He can't see it. They don't have a monitor.
We don't have a monitor, Susan.
It's just, I mean, he gets burned. Like, nothing against Marquise Goodwin, which, by the way, I got something to say about him in a second, which actually was a really good story. But he gets absolutely just burned by Goodwin on that bomb, and wasn't even close. Like, he didn't even have a chance at it. It just looked like he, like I said, just didn't look like he was even trying.
Pre-snap, Jenkins was like 12 yards off of Goodwin, and he still got roasted.
And that roasted. Yeah, but by the way, really quick thing about Marquise Goodwin, which I saw today, apparently, actually, his like infant kid like died that morning. Yeah. I don't know if it was like a newborn or something.
Yeah.
So I guess he was really emotional in the end zone. I had no idea why. I didn't see it today. But good for him for catching that ball and that touch. I'm actually pretty happy for the guy. That at least he was able to at least get that touchdown, and I'm sure it was a very emotional touchdown for him. But I was really sad. I was reading the story today. It was kind of sad, actually. So I was actually pretty happy that he burnt the shit out of him. Now that I actually read that. So anyway,
at least we did something right. I mean,
yeah, right.
I agree. I feel bad. I felt so bad. I read that story too, and it's a touchdown won't really help him much, but it's something, I guess. So I'm happy he got that.
How do you fucking play? I was like, it was yesterday morning.
Yeah.
His wife, they had to deliver prematurely, and I don't know if the baby wasn't born, stillborn. I think it was alive, but the chances of it surviving was very slim, and obviously it didn't. And then he goes and plays.
The baby
goes and plays.
Yeah.
All right.
insane.
So back on this for a minute. All right. So let me tell you about another asshole that pissed me off yesterday on this defense. Jonathan Casillas. You remember the touchdown by Selleck Rye?
Yes. Yes.
So first of all, he was burnt on the play to begin with. But okay, so when a player gets burnt on a play, what normally happens? Even if he knows that he's not going to catch him, doesn't he not run his hardest to try to just make the attempt to try to tackle him, correct?
If you want to be there, yes.
Yeah. Okay, so Selleck's he catches the ball. He's clearly ahead of him. As soon as Casillas even just realizes for a second he's not going to catch him, he just starts jogging. If you go back and look at it, it's awful. And it wasn't even that Selleck was even close to the end zone. He was at the 40-yard line.
Yeah. He also had D-backs backing into the end zone as Selleck was coming in too.
Yeah.
And even the Beathard touchdown, defensive players are backing up into the end zone. It was the most matador
even
defense.
When there's a pick six, for example, this is a perfect example. Even when a guy picks a ball off and he's clearly gone, you see that wide receiver who's probably the fastest guy on the offense running back to try to tackle that guy and doesn't make it, but he still makes that effort. That's
Don Beebe in the Super Bowl.
Don Beebe in the Super Bowl, down 30 points, knocking out Nate Newton's head. There you go. But still, the point, dude, it wasn't even he could have ran after him and maybe actually could have had a chance. Dude, he literally started jogging. Who the fuck does that?
Very, very simply, it's a player that is a part of a defense that has quit. That's all it is. There's nothing else to say. It's not like they're this bad. I know they're not this bad, but right now they're the worst team in the NFL. I think the Browns would have beat them yesterday easily.
Probably. They almost beat the Lions.
Yeah, exactly. The Browns didn't play bad yesterday, and their defense is actually not bad. The Giants are the worst team in the league right now.
And I feel so bad for this offense because they actually you could tell they just don't have anybody on offense. They just suck. They have nobody. I mean, Shepard had a good game, made some really nice catches. Ingram had a touchdown, but Darkwa had a couple good runs. He had a decent game.
But go ahead.
No, but they really don't have anybody. So, I feel so bad for Eli, even though he made a really retarded play yesterday. But he was just trying to throw the ball away. I can't even really fault him because there's really no room for error on this team right now as far as trying to win a game because their defense just sucks. So he's trying to make a play or he's trying to throw the ball away. So, I don't even kill him for it because, and not to mention too, the offensive line still is not that good. So he's still getting hit, and and he has nobody really to throw to, and it's tough. I mean, the 49er defense was one of the worst defenses in the league, by the way. They played great yesterday because the Giants just sucked that bad. The 49ers did not look like an 0-9 team yesterday, the way they were playing. And from the weeks prior, from some of the stats that I heard, it was so bad. Beathard, for example, has been sacked 14 times in 3 games. 14 times. I don't even think – did we even have a sack yesterday? I don't know exactly if we did, but I'm going to bet that we probably didn't.
That's a good question because I can't recall one, so probably not.
I mean, I was switching a little bit to the Dallas Falcons game, so I didn't watch every play, but I watched most of the game, and I don't truthfully.
No sacks, Dave. None.
So you changed from a game with no sacks to a game with sacks galore.
Yeah, basically, actually, yeah. But I kept it mostly with the Giant 49er game because I really, being 1-8 or 2-7 isn't going to change the season, but I'm still rooting for them to win. I mean, God.
Yeah. We're off the tank. We went over that, how the tanking thing is just kind of stupid.
Well,
right now you got to just try and play to win. It's so hard. I understand the defense is not going to help you because they are obviously quitting already. So, like you said, David, it's really hard on the offense, who definitely seems like they're trying. The offensive line, the offensive line just sucks. Bobby Hart was in there again because Pugh got hurt, and he is not a professional football player. He's not a professional football player. He got bum rushed so many freaking times. Their run schemes have been okay. They're actually been pretty good. And Dark has been really good, but they only ran him 14 times.
Well,
I mean, he had 70 yards. That's 5 per carry. I mean, you got to run him more. Run it early on and see what he's got.
Yes, and I agree. And then when it gets to the point when you never have a lead, it's hard to run the ball. But then again, they weren't getting blown out until later in the game. It was pretty close.
Right.
I mean, and then the fourth quarter, they just went. They just it went to shit.
But then
pretty close.
In the fourth quarter, then it was late, and then they start running the ball, and it was with Vereen.
Yeah,
that didn't make any sense.
Down 18. Down 18.
And that's back to the coaches and the play calling. So it's just a freaking carousel of shit. It's a carousel of dog duty.
See, this is my thing though. I've thought about this even before I've heard other people talk about it. All right, so they're quitting on McAdoo, correct? But all right, maybe McAdoo sucks. We know this, and I'm sure he's not a likable guy in the locker room right now. But what about Spags though? What they're quitting on him? How unfair is that to him?
That's a slap in the face to him, dude.
Because I can't imagine they hate him.
No.
So it's that's just I don't know. To me, that's just like a slap in the face. That's just I feel bad for him in that aspect because I'm sure he's really trying to get his defense up to par to play against these teams, and they're just not performing when they could perform better.
That's a good point, Dave. I didn't really think of that, but that is a very good point.
That's what worried me about Collins' post-game comment about how McAdoo's got to be the coach. My first thought, and I don't think this is true, but my first thought was, well, I hope it's they don't hate just Spags and they don't give a shit. McAdoo's all right, but they hate Spags.
That just wouldn't make sense. Holy cow!
I mean,
that would make things worse.
In any universe, that being true, but I don't know. It all stinks. It all stinks like shit.
Oh, I think about how the Yankees let Girardi go for not being they have good camaraderie with the players. Is that what it was? Part of the reason?
Well, that was Cashman's bullshit excuse.
Yeah, we don't know how true that really is.
But just say it for what it is. And then you look at the New York Football Giants, what's going on with McAdoo. And, I mean, I get Landon Collins is the only guy that I've heard at all. I mean, this is it's a laughing stock. It's just awful.
Well, Francesa said it best today. He said, listen, firing a coach midseason really is useless. It's pointless. It does nothing for your team in a lot of aspects, unless it gets to the point where you just can't look at the guy anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It's gone from disappointing to embarrassing to, I think the word he used was rancid now. It just stinks to high heaven. It all does.
And I agree with that 100%, Mike. I agree with that 100%.
Fucking just fire the guy.
Exactly.
And set of balls. The Maras don't fire coaches. But why not? Why not this guy?
I said they're not going to try. They're not going to win any more games if he's around. So get rid of the freaking guy.
And this is coming from Michael
Hall. Toxic atmosphere.
Toxic.
And
toxic.
You know what?
Getting worse.
At this point, Janoris Jenkins needs to be cut. I don't even care at this point. I mean, not necessarily right this minute, but he does not need to be a New York Giant next year.
Well, you know what?
I disagree with that one.
No, I'm happy Dave said it though, because it's like the whole cheating philosophy. People say once a cheater, always a cheater. Well, you know what? This guy's quitting on me now. What's to say that he doesn't do it next year or the year after?
Well, he's not happy, so he's just going to whine and cry like a baby and just not play. I'm sorry,
no.
I don't care how good you are. I don't want you on my team.
Well, I understand that, guys, but I think maybe you start with sitting the guy. I think that's what you do. You don't play him. Have him suit up and don't play him.
Yeah, I mean,
I think that's where we start. And if he does it again,
nothing to lose anyway the rest of the season, so you can just bench him. It's not like they're going to win a game.
That's what I'm saying. Just bench the guy. Bench him for the rest of the season.
You know who's the luckiest person of yesterday, by the way?
Who?
Damon Harrison, because he actually got to leave the game early for an injury, not have to deal with this shit show.
Oh, yeah, he got hurt.
An early bus.
Yeah, he got an early bus back. Early flight back to New York.
But And this is all coming. This was coming from Mike Hall a few minutes ago, talking about how you just can't look at this guy's face anymore. He's got to get out of here. And Mike, you were a guy
who defended him.
I know you're devil's advocate, but you're a guy trying to defend him. You can't defend him anymore, right?
No, well, listen. I only defended him and defend coaches in general with play calling and stuff like that. But a head coach, a head football coach has to be a leader of men. That's it. That's all I ask. You have a army of coaches to deal with the technical shit, the X's and the O's, and the perfect one. I still love the guy. It's Mike Tomlin. He just marches up and down the sideline and he leads the Steelers. He
does a great job.
He doesn't call a fucking thing. He doesn't have a play sheet. He doesn't have a goddamn thing. He's got bags of wheat jacket. That's all he's got. And he leads the team. And that's all you need. And McAdoo is not that.
Excellent point, Mike. Because he doesn't need to be a manager of the game. He just needs to be a leader. That's all he needs to do is be a leader. That's it.
And I'm not saying you can't do that. You know, I still love Mike McCarthy and he calls the plays. I don't have a problem with it, but you better make sure you are the leader. Like you say, they follow. That has to be the bottom line.
That's not happening.
No,
it isn't. It's not happening at all.
You know what this makes me think of a little bit here? What's going on between McAdoo and the players, and maybe like Collins and Jenkins and all this baloney. It makes me think of the scene in Remember the Titans with Gary Bertier and Julius Campbell talking about leadership. Okay, and he says attitude reflects leadership, cat or whatever.
Yeah,
and this is, and that's a movie about high school kids in one of the toughest times in American history, dealing with what's going on there. And this is like, and then this is happening on the New York Football Giants with Ben freaking McAdoo. I just can't wrap my head around how it's gotten to this point where this is stuff that you would see in high school locker rooms with inexperienced coaches. I just don't see this. I just don't know how this could be happening. I really don't.
Why? They just don't respect him. They have no respect for him as a coach anymore. And once the respect is gone,
because their attitude reflects it. That's what I'm saying. It's attitude reflects leadership, and he don't have the leadership.
I agree.
So get him on his high horse and get him out of here.
Truthfully, I know that maybe people say this, but I actually, in this situation, I mean it. I'd rather have a team of guys who work their ass off and try as hard as they can and go 4-12 than have a team like this pulling this shit and actually, because on paper, they're a better team next year if they keep some of these guys that they have that I believe have quit. But I'd rather them get rid of all of them, start over fresh, get guys who actually are going to play hard no matter what, have respect for their coach, and even if they suck and go 5-11 or 4-12, at least I can say this team fucking worked their asses off and they tried, because this is bullshit.
Right, and the other thing is like what you hear when this stuff happens in locker rooms, you hear about a closed meeting or a players-only meeting and all that type of language. We haven't heard that at all this year.
It's happened once.
What, after week 1?
No. I think it was a few weeks ago. Eli had called a meeting for everybody. It didn't work though.
No, you know what? At least he tried.
Yeah, no, and I'm not surprised he did that. I mean, he's not much of the speaker, but he can be a captain. He's a pretty good captain. He doesn't have to be that rowdy dowdy kind of captain. But the guys on the team respect his ass. Absolutely.
And listen, Eli commands respect with his play because he always shows up and plays. But if you want to have a meeting like that, it's got to be someone on the defense. If Landon Collins wants to defend this coach, then you know what, Landon? I know you're a young player. You start throwing chairs around in the meeting room.
Yeah,
but just the defense in there.
They don't have the guys for that. They don't have the Strahan, the Tuck, the Yora. They have JPP usually fires them up in the beginning. I just don't think he's that type of guy to get a meeting started. They don't have the personnel to do it. They don't.
Collins can't do it?
I think he's just too young right now.
Snacks can't?
I don't know. I don't, Mike. I have no idea. I mean, I wish I knew.
I mean, listen, you don't need a cheerleader on your football
No,
team.
I understand that, but Strahan was more than a cheerleader. That guy was a freaking leader, man.
Absolutely.
Do you remember the 2007 Super Bowl thing that you had us watch, Ryan, when they had all the commentary and everything?
Yeah, the oral history.
Yep.
And like, do you remember how like I know it's a Super Bowl, different situation, and but do you remember how like even the offensive linemen were like in the comments were talking, we got to do this for Michael. We got to get him his ring. This is Michael's last chance right here.
Yep,
Just the fact of like how much they respected Strahan and how much of a leader he was, that like everyone on that team would have died to get that guy a ring.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just those guys are far and few in between, and we get that, and I understand that. And there really is no true leader on that defense right now. But when you hear stuff like that, like that team was tight, that team was close. Like those guys played for each other, because that really wasn't the best. Look at the guys that were on that team; they weren't like the best team on paper. But those guys, man, they clicked, and they were like they played so well together. That defense was amazing. I mean, we had Burris and a pretty good receiver, but some of these guys we didn't have anybody that special. That team just clicked at the right time and played amazing. This team will never accomplish that.
No, never. And you know what guy I wish was healthy right now, and it's not a defensive player, is Brandon Marshall. And as much as I don't know if he would help things or whatnot, but at least if Brandon Marshall was still around, not hurt, I feel like he would, in interviews and press conferences, he would be telling the truth. And you would hear who the hell was quitting. You would hear, I really believe that you would hear a lot more of what's going on because he would bring it out.
Yeah, I agree.
And weed it out. And I just wish that we had a guy like that. Like you said, we don't have that guy in the defense. I wish it was Snacks, because I thought of Snacks. I wish it was JPP. I wish Landon Collins could do it. But if anyone could have, it would have been Marshall. I just wish that he was around still. Even on the offense, I think he might have taken a stab at it.
No, I know. There's no clear-cut leader. Like you said, Eli Manning's a great leader, but he's not. Sometimes you need that guy who's going to like fire you up. Like Eli Manning's not really that type of guy. And I don't want him to change who he is. He is who he is. But the Giants don't have that guy.
And usually you get it from a guy on the defense.
Yes. Like those, like when they all get together before the game, the guys like pumping everybody up, and they're shoving guys, and they're like, we want a victory, let's go, and all that hoorah bullshit. Like, they don't really. I don't even know who they have to do that.
Well, like I said, what the
left side, that type of stuff.
Yeah, no, we don't have Denzel either, but
chewing gum real hard.
Yeah. But no, JPP is the guy that does that. And I thought he would be a guy that would be able to come out there and be a leader. And he is possibly the leader, but it's not working, man. I don't see him quitting too much. Like I watched a lot of that game yesterday and the game before that. It seems to be like, it doesn't seem to be that front four. It's like the guys behind them.
Yeah, the linebackers in the second, because like Vernon had a pretty good game yesterday.
He had a very good game, finally coming back after a couple of games off.
He had the pick. Like he
it was really good. Yeah, it was nice. It was really nice. It's the guys behind them, man.
Eli Apple's probably just a follower, and these guys are probably like putting poison in his head, and he's like, okay, I'll just go with the flow.
He's an idiot. Guy looks like Lil Wayne. He's a freaking idiot, man.
Like, I don't want to like discredit this guy's character. I don't really know him, but I just like that's what I see. Like, I just see like everybody else is quitting, so I might as well too.
I don't know.
That's so hard about this too, because we really don't know anything, and
we're just bad.
We just all what we see and what you kind of think, and they're basically opinions. I hope I'm wrong. I hope it's like one guy that's quit, but it just looks like it's so much more than that.
It does, guys. All in all, this looks just terrible. This is the worst collective group I think we've had since we've started watching this team, and like I've said this many times, and it amplifies because we were supposed to be a playoff team again. We're supposed to be a Super Bowl contender. That's why this really fires me up in a negative way. This is really disheartening. It really is. So yesterday, I was like clenching my fists and I wanted to freaking cry. I'm serious. because I was getting so mad, and I shouldn't because they were 1-7, and then but why? Because I love the team. I love the Giants. I love the organization. I loved being able to celebrate and watch 2011, 2007 Super Bowls. Those are some of my favorite days ever. And then we watch this piece of shit team, and this piece of shit organization right now, and this piece of shit GM, and this piece of shit coach. I can't stand it.
I just want the season to be over.
I know. And that's what that's what I
said.
Into
the playoffs. Just like let me just start watching playoff football. Like let me just skip the next 7 weeks and just like let me just start watching playoff football because I'm done, man. I'm
done right now.
How about this? And like, look, now they got the Chiefs coming in. Like, really, like, dude, I can't even like how they even gonna like compete with that team right now.
Well, it's great, but who are the chefs?
The chefs. Well, like Kelsey, Alex Smith, Tyreek Hill, Kareem Hunt.
That game's over already, Dave. I mean, come on.
Like, why even go on the field? You're not going to play anyway. That's why. That's the reason I'm going to watch next week. I just want to see
at home
how bad they play and how bad these fans boo the shit out of them and the stupid chants and the chants are going to come up like the Fire McAdoo chants. I hope they start them. I hope
they're going.
I hope so. Like they had the Fire Fossil chants. Like
yeah, it's New York, man. You know it's coming.
McAdoo is going to hear it from inside the locker room, from the parking lot 5 hours before the game.
You're right.
He is going to be hung.
Well, it's just rough. It's rough. Rye, final thoughts, because I think we got to move past this. I can't keep getting frustrated here.
No, let's move on. I'm done with it.
Dave, final thoughts.
I mean, I could still talk for like 2 hours over this shit. I mean, but no, let's just move on to something else because we're just beating a dead horse. Like we've been beating a dead horse for the last like 8 weeks.
Well, you know what? You're right, and we're going to continue to beat that horse because we got to talk about it on this podcast. So we will continue, but we're done today. Let's have a little uplifting news, and that's the Packers. Mike, you got to win. Played pretty well, and it's a division game, so it's a big deal.
It was a big deal. It's the Bears. It's a big deal. Not sure, but that kid Trubisky looks pretty good. But how about you guys talk about McAdoo? What do you think Bears fans think about John Fox this morning? Honestly, he challenges a play. They thought he was going to get a touchdown.
Yeah, that was a bad challenge. That was one of the worst.
The ball.
Yes, but that's human error. That's just a mistake.
Right.
Well, listen.
Don't you look at that, though, or have your coach – like, he really went quick on that.
Yeah, well, I think that's the problem. To the naked eye, sure, it probably looked like a touchdown. Someone in his ear needs to quickly see – because it was pretty clear that Cunningham was losing possession of the ball. But I had a big break for the Packers because I thought if that's a touchdown, or even if he's out of bounds and they end up scoring a touchdown, that game could be a lot different.
That was the biggest play of the game.
It definitely was. Because Hundley played better. You're seeing growth with him. Mm-hmm. It's a steep learning curve. You're still seeing plenty of mistakes. It turned out he started getting a little hamstring tightness in the second half. I think Dave was watching the game with me. Remember that play where he scrambled left, and I even said, like, why is he just jogging like half-heartedly? And then he actually dove forward instead of sliding.
Yes.
He was feeling that hamstring at the time.
So at least there was an excuse for that.
A lot of his escapes are like straight back 20 yards, deep into no sack territory. That's got to improve. But, you see some of the arm talent. The touchdown to Adams, in the fourth quarter to respond to their touchdown. Well, let's talk about that Bears touchdown for a second. Devon House. I want to talk about Devon House for a second. Because, listen, we almost gave up 300 passing yards to a rookie. The run defense was great, 50-something yards on the ground. But the pass defense still. Now, we sacked him 5 times. Nick Perry was finally present. But Devon House, who claims to be a press man corner, when he hangs his hat on. And then when he left the Packers the first time to go to Jacksonville, and he played in the Gus Bradley defense. My dog's making noise. Shut up, Walter. He said he struggled in Jacksonville because they made him play a lot of zone. That's not me. I'm a press man corner. That's more and more comfortable. This is the shit he has. So we bring him back, and Dumb Capers goes, okay, Devon, we're going to give you some man. We're going to give you man assignments, some press man coverage. And I mentioned it after the Detroit game, that first touchdown to Marvin Jones. I told you guys, Devon House is lined up in press, and the ball snapped, and what happens? He doesn't jam him. He just turns and runs and gets outrun. Yesterday, that touchdown to who the hell caught that touchdown for the Bears? I forget who it was. Devon House is lined up in man, press man, and just turns and runs with the guy. And guess what? He can't run with the guy and just gets burned again for a touchdown, making me lose my mind. And on the last play of the game, when the Bears had to have that fourth down, I'm watching Devon House because I'm really interested. And guess what he did? He jammed the guy on the line. He rerouted him. And Trubisky, I think it was his first or second read. And guess what? He couldn't go there because the route was disrupted. Fucking genius, right? Holy shit. Like, just jammed the guy. Okay, enough with Devon House. So, offensive line played well. Obviously, no Balaga for the rest of the year. But the kid McCray slides into right tackle and does a pretty good job because, remember, that's a team with Pernell McPhee. That's a team with Leonard Floyd. They can get after the quarterback. We did a pretty good job. And the good news was, no Danny Trevathan. He's had a little calf problem, poor little guy. So at least it gave Chicago area hospitals the night off and neck surgeons in the area the night off. That fucking piece of shit headhunter was on the field. So all in all, really good game. Adams, what do you have? 5 catches for 90 yards and that touchdown.
Yep.
You can start to see some chemistry between Adams and Hundley. And if it just starts with one guy, that's fine. I mean, listen, I have Jordy Nelson on both my fantasy teams. It's killing me. But you gotta love Jordy Nelson. I mean, on the touchdown run by who was that? Is that Ty? Right, because Williams didn't have a touchdown. Jordy Nelson blocking downfield is the best in the league. He really is. And when he's not filling the stat sheet with his catches and his yards, he still plays football to the whistle. And if it's a run, a reverse to Randall Cobb, or whatever, Jordy Nelson is 100% in the play and he does his job. So Aaron Jones gets hurt. He's out 3 to 6 weeks with a sprained MCL. Ty gets hurt again. So it's a good freaking thing we drafted 3 running backs again, I guess, in the offseason. Because Jamal Williams gets another opportunity, ran pretty well. Some of his runs in the fourth quarter, me and Dave were in awe of this kid's strength and his power. Just willed a couple first downs by himself. Absolutely by himself. Against the defense, I mean, let's be honest, the Bears defense is no slouch. So a lot of credit to everybody that played well in the offense. The offensive line, Hundley, the running game collectively, 150 yards plus on the ground. 6 different guys got carries. It didn't matter. So a little fantasy plug early. I mean, Jamal Williams, I guess try to pick him up because he'll be the feature back for the next few weeks. You'll see a little Devontae Mays probably. But Williams should be the guy. So, listen, a divisional game on the road, in the rain, when we hadn't won a game yet with this quarterback. I mean, it equals a very, very, very good win. And, we're 5-3. I mean, so everything's okay. You have Baltimore next week. Another really good defense. So if Hundley continues to grow and they start to give him more and more, and we're 5-4, my mistake, not 5-3, but we're still, right in the thick of things in a very, very cloudy NFC. I still understand the playoffs are a long shot. Rodgers' timetable, still no one really knows if he can even come back. If they're going to make a push at this and start winning a couple of these games, I mean, Rodgers, will put the foot on the gas with his rehab and do everything he can to get back. If the wheels fall off and we fall out of this thing, why even bring him back? But if we need him, he says he's pain free already. He's got a bunch of hardware in his neck, his collarbone. It's all stable. He's just kind of waiting for bone growth around it. That takes a little time. But he says he's pain free. He hasn't started throwing yet. But I think he's on that trajectory of playing this year if we need him. So Hundley, great job. Defense, as long as you can stop the run. Listen, the Bears wanted to run the ball. That's all they do. I think Chris Spielman was calling the game. He was cracking me up. It's like the Bears, they run on first, they run on second, they pass on third. They run on first, they run on second, they pass on third. That's all they want to do. That's all they did. And we held them in check. Like 50-something yards on the ground. So we can stop teams running the ball, and Hundley can just not turn it over, just do enough. We keep running the ball. We can win games. And we still have some winnable games. We still play the Browns, I think. We have the Ravens at home next week, I believe. So, you know what? We have a fucking shot. We have a shot. This Packers report been brought to you by cheese.
Hey.
Squeaky clean cheese curds.
Smoked Gouda.
Made sense, Mike. Made sense. Well, I'm glad you guys got a win, and there's still some hope to get to where you want to be. Like you said, if this guy can just manage the game and their defense plays like they did yesterday, because I watched the whole game as well, and defense looked pretty good. I know the Bears don't have the most exciting offense, but Trubisky's up and coming. I think he's definitely going to be a good quarterback in the NFL, and Howard's still a really good running back, and they really held him in check very well. It's gonna work out. So at least you got some good news yesterday, and you guys got to win. FanDuel, guys, just to really run down how my picks did. Pretty bad. I think my only really good pick was Sterling Shepard. Had a monster game, over 10 catches, 140-something yards. Didn't get in the end zone, but still gave you close to 20 fantasy points. That was pretty good. Just about everybody else sucked ass. Fitzpatrick, McKinnon, Marvin Jones, 1 catch. That was pretty awful. Sanu was terrible too. And Cameron Brate, another guy with 1 catch. And the Redskins D-Rye didn't work out. So.
Tell me about it.
How'd you do, Rye?
Well, I hit 1 in every category except for the tight ends. Cameron Brate had that 1 catch. I hit Sterling Shepard and Robbie Anderson at receiver. They both had very good games. Humphreys sucked. I think I forget what the total was, but he sucked.
A lot of
2
guys
catches
suck.
for 19 yards.
Sick game.
I had Jordan Howard and Lamar Miller, who didn't do so well, and I had Orleans Darkwa, but for 5,300, he got you like 11.8 points. I think that's worth it, so that was pretty decent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had him too. I forgot.
Yeah, and then at the QB, we had Eli. I mean, he got 16.92, I think, just under 17. I think that's worth it.
Not bad.
Well, 6,700, that's not bad.
Not bad. Not great. Not bad though.
All right, let me give you my disaster.
Yeah.
Go, baby, go.
Well, I had Roethlisberger and Manning. Manning, not so bad. Roethlisberger, not too bad. He had like 19 points. I mean, I was hoping he would have one of his 4 touchdown performances, but no, not even close. Devontae Freeman, he played for like 1 play and then went out with a concussion, so we all know how it went. Bilal Powell didn't have a good game at all. I actually really sucked yesterday, guys. It was a really bad day for Sanu. Really didn't do that much. I mean, he did okay. Demaryius Thomas didn't do that bad. He had a touchdown. I figured he would get a touchdown, even though I knew they were going to get blown out. But I thought he'd get some. He had like 13 points. It's not that bad for 6,800. And then What I really was wrong about was Fournette, Gordon, and Brown all sucked yesterday. That was huge dud. But AJ Green had a good game. He had like over 20 points. So
Yeah, he was good.
AJ Green was my one good pick on the high end players. But oh man, I was really disappointed in Fournette, man. That was such a disappointment. That killed a lot of people yesterday, I think. And Antonio Brown too, man. 3 catches, really? So
Well, I'm glad I'm going last because as bad as all that was, mine fucking sucked. The worst. I said Bilal Powell, stupid. I said Ty Montgomery. I mean, he got hurt, so
Scored a touchdown though.
Yeah, you know what? So
no, that wasn't that bad.
Not that bad.
Not
but
bad.
I said spend the money on Bell and Brown.
Yeah,
garbage. I mean, I guess I did say Vernon Davis, so it looks like he got about 11 points, if I'm correct. So,
then you had Stafford and Brady, right? They did good.
Yeah, maybe it wasn't so bad.
Yeah, you probably had the best one out of all of us.
Too hard on myself. Just the Bilal Powell pissed me off because I had to play him on one of my regular leagues, and I just wanted to kill him. I want to kill him. Fumble, idiot.
Yeah.
Well,
Jets were a disaster yesterday.
Yeah.
So let's recap our picks. I guess I'll start. I went 1-2, another losing week like usual. Probably, I think that puts me in the bottom of the barrel of us anyway. My Washington pick was awful. I didn't see Case Keenum coming. I don't know. Amazing.
Stupid.
I also lost Buffalo one. A couple of us did. That was really bad. I'll never pick against New Orleans again, I guess. What's it called? No, I think I went 0-3, guys.
Oh no! What was the last one?
The Chargers plus 4.5 covered, I think.
Oh yeah, they covered, right?
Yes,
they did cover. I'm sorry. Wow, I almost got scared there for a second.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's the one I covered. That's the one I covered. Thanks, Rye.
You're okay.
So, yep, 1-2, another losing week. Don't know where that really puts me. I know it's really bad, but all right, right. How'd you do?
Well, the dartboard philosophy.
How'd the dartboard do?
It's still pending, actually.
Yeah, but they're down 10-0. So I got Miami plus 9.
So technically, you're losing right now.
Yeah, you're losing right now.
So technically, I'm 0-3 at the moment because Tennessee didn't cover them right. They won, but I had a minus 4.5. I think they won by
4.
1 by 4. Okay.
So that's a half-point loss. Yep.
Yep.
Buffalo. We all know how that one went. Plus 3, they sucked ass, and Miami tonight's going to suck ass, and that's going to be 0-3. And I'm going to have to change my philosophy next week. Maybe I'll play a spin the bottle game, like spin it and whatever team it lands on, we're good. Or drop the pen from the ceiling and whatever it lands on the sheet, I'll pick them. Because nothing is working.
Why don't you just put a bunch of names in a hat and just pull them from a hat?
You know what? I could do the hat thing.
Hat thing might
do a favorites hat and an underdog hat.
Because clearly you suck at darts.
Yeah, darts is.
I still can't believe you actually threw darts.
Darts is blowing big ass right now.
All right.
So 0-2 pending.
0-2 pending. Which I'm actually hoping they get shut out because I have Carolina's defense tonight. So
me too.
Go Carolina.
Me too. Me 3.
Yeah. So fuck you, Miami. All right. So I went 2-1. New England. Didn't watch 1 minute of that game because I fell asleep, but I already knew that was going to be a cover because Denver sucks. The pick game, whatever. I took a chance. I was going against the grain on that one. And, well, you know what? Pittsburgh, I don't know. Whatever. Good job by the Colts. They played a pretty good game, actually. They actually probably should have won that game. But and then Atlanta blew out Dallas. So New England and Atlanta, good job, Pitt. You suck. But once again, 2-1. I'll take it.
Yeah, you will.
Mm-hmm. Well, my 3 games are all already covered. Lost the Bills. I remember when we were picking, I picked the Bills because I said, we're always worried about New Orleans on the road.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe they're a tad overrated still.
Nope.
Wrong and wrong. Listen, this team, you want to talk about a team that can challenge, I guess, Philly in the playoffs. This team with that running game and that defense. I said Saints defense. They can go anywhere. I mean, that's built for playoff football. So Saints got an extra couple notches up in someone's power rankings because those are fun to do. So that was a horrible loss. They get the Chargers to cover. Philip Rivers does it again. He's a magician. They lost the game, but covered like he always does. And then the Falcons, that left tackle not playing for Dallas was a pretty big deal. I think Adrian Claiborne just sacked Dak Prescott again just now. Yep, I just got the report. He sacked him again. So that's 30 for the game. It was bad. And the Cowboys suck. So 2-1. And Dave mentioned the Indy-Pittsburgh game. And I meant to say this when we were making our picks, and I didn't, that I would always pick against Pittsburgh on the road as big underdogs. I mean, as big favorites, I'm sorry. They always lay an egg. And I said, you know what, this week I have a different feeling. That's why I loved Bell and Brown in the daily. I thought Roethlisberger was going to play well. Never again. Never again. The Steelers, as big favorites on the road, will never, ever cover. If they couldn't do it yesterday, they'll never do it with Roethlisberger. You just can't do it.
Agreed.
Ever.
Very good. And Rye, by the way, Dolphins just scored, so
I saw.
You're back to covering.
I'm back to covering 1 and 2 dartboard philosophy.
Power of the darts.
Well, next one, we will be back the end of this week or so for some more picks in Fanduel. So continue not to listen to us. But anyway.
By the way, did you guys actually catch the end of the Chargers-Jacksonville game?
Yeah.
You want to talk about effort, chasing guys down? You were talking about the Casillas playing.
Mm-hmm.
You see Philip Rivers?
Yep.
He threw the pick.
Oh, and then
in overtime, and he trucked the guy at the 1 yard line and kept him from scoring the touchdown.
Yeah.
And then the Jaguars took a penalty, so it backed them up. I mean, it was still a pretty short field goal, but can you imagine the Jaguars could fuck something like that up? That could have saved the game, but it didn't.
No, yeah, I was pissed about that actually, Mike, because I wanted Jaguars D to score because my $40 1 p.m. would have been a $75. By the way,
there you go.
Killer.
The spoils.
I was at $75.
There's a lot of crazy things that happened in the last 2 minutes of that game, like turnovers and then blocked field goals that went through to win the game. And the Chargers, man, I'm telling you, they don't disappoint when it comes to excitement. Their games are ridiculous. They come down to the wire, so many last second field goals, crazy things happening. So, I mean, for an entertainment standpoint, they definitely don't disappoint.
They're usually boring for a couple of quarters, and then all of a sudden, that fourth quarter is usually exciting.
It turns into a circus.
There was 3 turnovers in the last 2 minutes of that game. Bortles threw 2 picks, and then that running back who actually played, who got all the points instead of
Eckler
fumbled. Yeah, he throws a pick, and the very next play they run the ball and he fumbles, and then Bortles throws another pick. And then
they throw 2 picks after the 2-minute warning.
Yeah, after he threw 2 picks. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This game was ridiculous down the stretch. And then
Blake Bortles,
they called all their timeouts and they punted, and then they actually stopped them. And then the Chargers take the worst roughing the passer penalty. He picks Bortles up and just tosses him, gets him into field goal range, and they tie the damn game up. I'm like, the Chargers should have won this game. Whatever. I mean, it was just crazy though. That ending was nuts.
Yeah, it really was, dude. That ending was crazy. Did you guys watch any of the New Orleans game?
No, I just saw some highlights of Mark Ingram scoring 42 touchdowns. That's about it.
I mean, I liked that. That was nice. 42. I mean, Mike, you said it, man. That team has done a complete 180 with their offense. They used to be a high-powered, throw and go type of team, and now they have turned into a running team. It's amazing. Defense. And that 1-2 punch of Ingram and Kamara might be the best in the league.
Oh, right. Yeah, right now it's not even close, and it's the best we've seen in a while.
Well, how about this? They had 6 rushing touchdowns yesterday. 6.
Mm-hmm.
4 different guys. Breeze included.
Breeze included. Like, this is probably the worst stat year for Drew Brees in, like, probably, let's just say, the last 5 years. And, like, it's probably the best I've seen their team be in the last 5 years.
Oh, yeah.
Listen to this. What are the Saints on a 6-game winning streak?
7.
7 now?
They started 0-2. They're 7-2 now.
Okay, we'll take the last 5 games because that's since their bye. They played 5 games, okay? Drew Brees in those 5 games has only 5 touchdown passes and 4 interceptions, and they haven't lost.
It's crazy.
That's incredible.
You would have never thought.
No.
You would have never thought. It's very crazy.
Crazy.
I mean, a lot of things that kind of surprised me yesterday too was, and I mentioned it really quickly, was Case Keenum. I mean, what the hell?
That'll never happen again.
I don't know. He's had 2 big games like that.
It has happened already.
Missed out on that Viking stack yesterday. I don't know what I was thinking.
I know.
Case Keenum sucks.
Like, I'm looking at the first place guy in the Sunday Million. I think I was telling somebody about this, and it was Kamara, Mark Ingram, and a Viking stack. And I'm just like, I would have never picked this team ever in my life.
No, that's crazy. And you know what's funny? Lorraine, her 1 p.m. team, she'd pick Thielen. So
it's good pick.
There was a lot of people
great
talking
pick
about Thielen having a good game just on the fact of Norman being on Diggs. So that's actually, I mean, you know, that.
Although Diggs scored too.
Yeah, they both had good games. I mean, and of course, I took Kyle Rudolph on some of my teams. Of course, he's the only one who did nothing yesterday. Go figure. Go figure. They scored 38 points, and Kyle
That's
Rudolph
because you had him.
does nothing.
Because you had him.
Because I had him. No, actually, some other douchebag guy scored. I never even heard his name. I think he was like the 3rd string tight end or something. Some guy with really long hair. Looked like he belonged like the WWE or something. I don't even know his name.
Undertaker?
Yeah, some shit like that. Yeah, definitely. Like, I don't know.
No, his name was Undertaker. John Undertaker.
Klein saucer.
Yeah. Freaking give him tombstones in the end zone after he scores.
No, that's great. And I'm telling you guys, I told you in the beginning, this Rams team, watch out. I know they played Houston, but
Robert Woods.
Robert Woods.
Bob Woods.
Bobby Woods.
A win is a win, Ryan. A win is a win.
It is. And they're 7-2. And I actually said that they'd probably win that division at 8-8 or 9-7. I forgot what I said,
I believe you said 9-7.
I did, right?
Yes,
they only need 2 more wins to get to 9. So I think they're going to surpass that.
I'm pretty sure you're good on that, unless like something crazy happens. So, you know, like half the team gets hurt or something. I think you're pretty good. It's awesome because I hate the Seahawks so much. Seahawks will probably make the playoffs as a wild card, but it'd be just great to see the Rams win that division.
Yeah, I mean, well, Richard Sherman's out for the year now, and you know Earl Thomas still kind of hurt. I don't know, man.
There you go.
Still can't block on that offensive line.
Offensive line still sucks. Yep, and the guy Dwayne Brown they just got, he's hurt now too. I think.
Yeah, the Seahawks. I mean, you can never count them out because they're experienced. But they are a very flawed team.
Absolutely. And I really didn't see I didn't see as much as, you know, going into the season, we thought the Jets are going to be the worst team in the year in the league, like the Browns, but I didn't see them. And then all of a sudden they started playing well this year. I didn't see them lay an egg against Tampa Bay, who's been pitiful. And that was a weird game too.
Yeah, I expected better from them. I honestly thought, I actually thought that game was going to be actually more of a high-scoring type of game. I'm surprised at how it kind of ended. I thought it would be like a 30-27 type of game. I thought the offenses were going to play a lot better.
Yeah,
I was wrong.
But still, I mean, the Jets were they were kind of in that game, as ugly as it was. But too many mistakes, too many penalties. Their defense just ran out of gas in the fourth quarter. The Buccaneers had that really long touchdown drive that kind of took pretty much ended the game. I thought they played okay. I mean, for the Jets Buccaneers, I guess they played okay enough to have a chance to win. It's not very good football, but no, they've been better than bad. That's for sure.
Absolutely. And then, I mean, Dave, why didn't you have Chester Rogers on your fantasy team?
Yeah,
I don't understand that.
Yeah, Chester Rogers.
How do you not roster Chester Rogers?
Yeah, it's just so stupid of me. Didn't even know who
Chester Cheetos Rogers.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, what are you gonna do?
Come on.
You know what's funny? Check this out. I'm looking at this. That Dallas Atlanta game. The top receiver in that game was Jason Witten with 59 yards.
I believe it.
What the hell is that?
So weird. What a weird year.
What a weird year, guys, huh? We've been saying it for weeks.
Every game is just like has like a weird kind of game flow, and like, you know, the Jets are 4-6. I mean, the Giants are the laughing stock of the league. I mean, the Rams are 7-2.
All these injuries to key guys.
All of the injuries. It's been absolutely brutal. The Saints play defense now. It's like the weirdest fucking shit.
I know. Everything you thought wouldn't happen has happened.
And I'm telling you, the Pittsburgh Steelers are 7-2, and you would never even think it watching them play.
Because they play such
good,
ugly freaking games. Like,
they don't even look good. Roethlisberger looks like he's on his way out even before Manning does.
Dude, Antonio Brown's having like the worst year he's had in like ever. Like he's like, it's like you got Juju. Juju's having a great year. I mean, Bell he gets his yards, but Bell still hasn't really been Bell. I mean, the Steeler defense has played pretty well. That's what's been saving them. Their defense has actually been playing very well this year. So, you know, there you go.
Well, I think the Bills are kind of rounding out into form now. You know, they tease you for a little bit, and then all of a sudden, 2 freaking horrible games in a row. This is what they usually do.
And you know what? Even though you've talked about them and you thought they'd be better, but the Titans are 6-3. It's not that bad. Like
4 in a row.
4 in a row. So they had some injuries. You know, they got Delaney back.
Mariota
just hurt his shoulder now again. Well, not again, but he just hurt his shoulder getting he was running and, you know, took a big hit towards the ground. So we'll see what happens as far as if his availability. But you know, Corey Davis being back, you know, DeMarco Murray getting 3 touchdowns.
Tennessee is not. They haven't played. The competition they played the last couple of weeks has been terrible, and they only beat the Browns by 3. If you remember that game, that was an awful game.
That's true. 12-9. Field goal.
They play. Who did they play? They play obviously the Bengals, who suck. They played the Ravens, suck. They played the Browns, suck, and I don't know what that other game was, but
I mean they beat the Seahawks. That's like their one signature win.
Oh, okay, there you go. So that was
the next week they lost to Houston by 43 points.
Yeah, they 57, right?
Yeah. So
well, since Watson's gone down, they're pretty much probably good by default going to win that division now.
Yeah, pretty sick, Chubb.
Houston sucks. That guy Savage is terrible, and well, Jacksonville. I mean, Jacksonville can contend because they have such a great defense. I mean, Blake Bortles can throw 7 picks and they can still win. So it really doesn't matter. Yeah, so really, that might be a competition. Yeah, they're both 6-3, top of the division. So
it's wacky, guys. It's a wacky year.
It's very wacky, man. I mean,
it's wacky.
I mean, the North is already a foregone conclusion because the Ravens, Bengals, and Browns just suck that bad. I'd like to think that the Chiefs will run away with it. I mean, the Raiders could go on a run, but the Chargers and Broncos are done. So you could stick a fork in them. I mean, if you're actually looking at this right now, besides maybe some wild card spots in the NFC, and then obviously maybe one in the AFC, like you could kind of tell who's probably going to be making the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, listen, there's still a decent amount of games left, so anything can change. As wacky as the season's been.
It's true. Well, but yes, but when you start, I mean, well, no, you're right. And there's still these divisions are definitely up for grabs. I mean, you know, Panthers win tonight. They're right there with the Saints. I mean, I don't even count the Lions, or maybe even the Packers out. I mean, the Vikings. I don't know. I don't have any respect for the Vikings, so I'm not really sure where I'm going. You know, I mean, the NFC East is a foregone conclusion. The Eagles are definitely going to win that division.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
You know.
I think they're the only one that makes the playoffs in that division.
Probably
with Zeke out a bunch of games.
Yeah,
I don't think so.
Honestly, I think that the Saints. I mean, that South is interesting because the Falcons are now 5-4. You have 7-2, 6-3, 5-4. You know, it's pretty interesting. Yeah, I agree with that. I think the Cowboys are going to fall out of it. I think that you could potentially, depending on how things go, you could actually get 3 playoff teams out of the South. It's possible.
It's possible.
It's very possible. If the Falcons can get back to where they were, it's very possible.
And then you got the Rams. I mean, not the Rams. Then you got the Seahawks too. Remember, they always find the way to make the damn playoffs.
Yeah. Well, hopefully something happens and that stadium blows up and they just can't play games anymore. And then
they stop pumping in fake noise.
Yeah, pumping in their fake noise. And I mean, I actually do like Russell Wilson. Like I do too. But like, he's just on a team that I hate, so can't root for him.
Yeah, it is tough. He's on my fantasy team. Got to root for him.
Well, yeah.
Got to support the team.
Well, all in all, it's been a wacky season, but we watch it for the fandom and also the fantasy wise. Rye, you still there, right? Just want to know.
Yeah, I'm still here.
All right, good. Well, enlighten us with a little basketball because I know you're pretty happy about your team right now.
Hoops.
Just another day from a crappy Sunday on a football perspective and fantasy perspective. The Celtics play the Raptors. This is a tough game. They don't have Kyrie, and it's just one of those games coming in. I'm like, this might be the one that breaks the streak. But no, the Celtics come back. They win a 1-point game. DeRozan had a chance at the buzzer to win the game. And Jaylen Brown, plays some pretty good D, and, he hit the rim, and it just hung up there for a minute and came down, and Tatum got his hand on the ball, and Marcus Smart, who must make every big hustle play there is. When you're watching the Celtics, Marcus Smart makes those type of plays. Every 50-50 ball he gets to. I mean, that's what it feels anyway. So he gets this rebound. It wouldn't have mattered. I don't think they would have been able to get the shot up anyway. But the Celtics end up winning the game by 1. They have now won 12 in a row, starting 0-2. So now they are 12-2. And Brad Stevens, I mean, I know it's 14 games in. I know it's not, anywhere near the end of the year, but this guy's got to be the front runner for Coach of the Year. I mean, he should be in the consideration anyway. And then this is just a great run from a team that I don't think anybody expected this from, at least now.
No, I agree. Well, as far as the Celtics, okay, Hayward goes down, right? But the thing is, again, anything in sports, well, in most sports, like when one guy goes down, man, it's the next opportunity for the next guy off the bench. And the Celtics bench has played amazing.
Amazing.
Like guys have just set up. I mean, dude, Jaylen Brown, another great game yesterday. I mean, I know he starts, but I'm just saying, like, guys like Jaylen Brown's been really. I mean, I didn't know what to expect from him this year. I mean, you don't know what to expect from some of these guys, and I don't, Rozier and even some of the other guys, like the low level guys, who you don't really expect much from. Everybody's kind of stepped up, and honestly, like it's been great. And honestly, if Hayward doesn't come back, which he probably won't, it's fine. This team, they see once again, like I said before about the Giants, this team is clicking, man. This team, they obviously are just like they're just meshing well, and everything's just going great for them. And there's really, honestly, as of right now, even though they could have lost last night, DeRozan had that last shot and didn't make it, but I honestly, like, they're even winning without Kyrie. Even without Kyrie, they're winning. I mean, Marcus, by the way, Marcus Smart, let me just piggyback. Dude, I love Marcus Smart, dude. He's great. And he just does everything. Like, he's not just a scorer. Like, he rebounds, he assists, steals, blocks, like, plays amazing defense. You could put him on the best scorer, and he'll be great. Like, he is an all-around really good player. Like, I love Marcus Smart. I wish I had Marcus Smart on my team.
Yeah, he's one of those guys, I think, that is like that. Like, if he is on your team, he's one of your favorite players in the league. And let me tell you, I know you mentioned you didn't know what you were getting from Jaylen Brown this year. That's the same toughness you're getting. You're getting that Marcus Smart toughness is in Jaylen Brown. And I don't know if you guys heard about this, but at the end of last season, when we lost to the Cavs in the Eastern Conference Finals, the next day, Jaylen Brown calls up Danny Ainge, or goes into Danny Ainge's office and says, listen, don't trade me. Don't even think about it. Next year, I'm going to be ready. I'm working my ass off this summer, and I'm gonna contribute next year.
That's
And
awesome.
let me tell you, he's been right. I mean, this guy worked his ass off in the offseason. He played summer league when he didn't have to, and it was his. And he said, "No, I'm going to play with Jason and Tatum and stuff like that." And Jabari Bird. He's like, "I'm playing with them. I want to play anything to get better." And that's this guy's mindset: is anything to get better. He was the number 3 overall pick in the draft. Just because I heard interviews with him ahead of the draft, and that's why I liked the pick. But I just wasn't sure about how he'd be. But if you listen to this guy talk and you listen to him, it's a guy you want to root for, and it's a guy that just busts his ass. And I love it. I love that he's on my team. And Jaylen Brown and Marcus Smart are probably my 2 favorite players in the league right now because they're hustle players, and they give everything they got. And it's the opposite of what we're getting in football this year. But I think something like 63% of loose balls, of 50-50 balls, the Celtics are getting to so far this year. So
hustle.
Yeah, hustle, all hustle.
Well,
Kyrie included, man.
No, you go, right.
No, I was just saying, Kyrie included. Like, he's been busting his ass as well out there, playing defense like I've never seen him play in his life.
Yeah, well, I was just going to say, it's just like you never know what you're going to get out of certain guys until you actually give them the minutes to play. I mean, these guys are all, they're all professionals. They're all there for a reason. So, like, when these guys actually get a chance to be out there on a consistent basis and they're not just playing 10, 15 minutes a game, then you can actually finally get to see when they're getting their 25 to 30 minutes, then you can actually start to see what these guys are really made of. So, like, it's nice, even, like, I'm telling you, I know it's crazy. I'm going to say this, but, like, I don't know, man. Maybe this team, you just don't know. Like, you don't know how teams are going to play together. Like, maybe I'm not saying Hayward's not like a team player or anything, but maybe he wouldn't like fit well. Like, who knows if him and Kyrie would have played well together? We don't know. Like, I don't know. It just seems that, like, him going down was almost like a blessing in disguise. Like, I don't want to say that, but, like, and I don't want to just blame it on that one thing, but it's just the way this team is, like, just like rallied around that, and just the way they play. Like, I don't know. It's Kyrie's team, and everything goes through him. And everybody else is just on board. I don't know. It just seems that, like, I don't know. That's kind of how I look at it. Because right now, if Hayward's on that team and he's playing, the offense is run differently. You have to think so.
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, I know what you're saying. I mean, I think that you have to look at it like this. If you like, the Celtics have won their last few games, like this Raptors game, Smart, Jaylen Brown, and Tatum.
Yeah,
I think we're like something like they could have been like 6 for 35 or something awful from the field, and they're still grinding out these wins on defense. Like, they held them to under 95 points. I mean, that's not happening anymore in the NBA. And the Celtics are one of the few teams in the league holding teams under 100 per game, and they're getting like you said, they're getting these contributions from guys that were playing in China last year, and rookies like Shane Larkin and Daniel Tice from Germany. Shane Larkin's been out of the NBA for 3 years, and he got 16 points off the bench the other night and won the game for us. You know what I mean? Like, they're getting it from all angles. But if Hayward's there, are they better? Like, it's possible. It's possible.
It's possible, but I don't know.
I mean,
it's one of those. It's definitely one of those I don't knows, because you can't just, like, assume. You just can't assume how they would be with or without him. But it's just a point to bring up. That's really it.
No, I love it. I mean, you have to mention it. I mean, they've won 12 in a row.
The thing about the NBA, though, like, and Rye, like, all these, like, top teams, they have, like, they're like, the way this is going now, they have, like, their trios now. You got, like, the trio over in OKC. You got the trio in Golden State. You have the Cavs, and then, like, they kind of built their little trio that with Kyrie, Hayward, and Horford, and, like, they thought, like, because I guess that's, like, the way things are going now. Like, and then you even have in Houston too with Paul and Harden, and and then just mix whoever else you want in there. But you know what I'm saying? So I think, like, this whole, like, they have, like, these, like, trio of, like, all-stars on their team, and that's, like, the only way you're going to win an NBA championship, because, like, they're taking the Golden State started this, right? And like now every other team is trying to mimic this, right? And so, and it's happened with a few teams this year. It happened with Boston, the Rockets, and OKC. So
yeah, and it happens. Every team is really trying to do the same thing.
LeBron James is he's just his own. He's just LeBron, and he doesn't need to have. But even then, Wade's old, right?
Well, he has love, and if Isaiah comes back, it's Isaiah.
Exactly. Yeah. So.
And the Knicks have Porzingis and whoever two guys you want to throw in there, whatever two other schmucks you want. It doesn't matter. It's Porzingis.
Well, what's the score of that? What's that score of that game right now? They're
gonna lose.
They're gonna lose, dude. They blew it. That's what I was checking while you were talking about the Celtics. I was just curious. It's I'll tell you right now. It's 104-101 with
seconds left.
4 seconds left, but I think Cleveland has the ball. So I know. Sucks.
There was a little dust up early in the game. Did you see that?
Yeah. LeBron and Frank, right?
LeBron and Frank.
After the comments he made.
Well, yeah. LeBron dunked, and Frank was just trying to get the ball to take it out of bounds. LeBron was just like standing there like a douchebag. He wouldn't let him throw. Frank just kept pushing him to get out of the way and kept pushing him. And then the refs got involved, and Enes Kanter, good for him, stepped in and got in LeBron's face. And it was a little juicy start to the game. Fuck LeBron.
Hey, and let me tell you something about the Knicks. You got your stud. That's the start of your big three, right? That's like Dave's saying. You have to kind of look at it like that. Porzingis is your stud. Frankie the Tank Ntilikina, or Frankie Smokes, or whatever the hell, whatever you want to call him. This guy, I see some good things from him. He could be something. And if he is, that's two pieces to your puzzle.
Yep.
And you need just three. If you have three studs, you're competing. You're a playoff team. Now, it takes more than that to win a championship, but you're competing and you're a playoff team. And Porzingis is your freaking golden freaking ticket. Sign him up, give him extension, give him whatever he wants, because you need to. If you let this guy go, it's an unbelievably bad mistake.
Well, I don't think that'll happen. I mean, that would be like a travesty, man. That would just be like, that's not happening. You got.
Well, I don't think they don't want it to happen, but he might. Hopefully that whole Phil Jackson, Carmelo saga stuff didn't really kill his whole New York experience.
No, it shouldn't. Why should
those assholes are gone?
So. They're gone, and the team is his now. So why should it?
I agree, but you just never know. You just don't let this guy go, man.
He's not going to become a Celtic, all right? Get it out of your head.
Oh, listen, I would have offered that same Kyrie Irving package for Porzingis.
I know.
Well, all right, so, I mean, that's it on the Celtics, I guess. So what do you guys – I know the New York Rangers now have won another game. That's unbelievable.
6 in a row, my man.
They beat the Golden Boys.
About that, Ryan.
Yeah, and you know what's funny, Mike, about that? I hadn't seen what the Oilers, what their record was, and they haven't been playing that great, but that's a good young team with the best player in the league on the team. I think he's just unfreaking believable.
He's already the best player.
Yeah, he is. And Connor McJesus, they call him, but he is. He's really good, and they actually contained him really well. I mean, he did score that power play goal, but once again,
one shot on goal.
Right. Once again, Mike, the freaking power play steps up, man. Steps up. We are top 5 in the league. Would you ever think the New York Rangers would be top 5 in power play?
No.
No. Absolutely not. And you know what's cool about this?
I just couldn't find it.
You know what's great about this team right now? It's a different guy every game. Different guy showed up. In this game, Rick Nash was awesome, offensively and defensively.
Yep.
Played a great game. But I can't say enough about the special teams right now. They're playing really well. And last week when we talked about this, we said that was really going to be important for the success of this team.
Oh yeah, it's the way this league is. I mean, if the power play struggles, and the team's going to struggle, and I think it's the case for a lot of teams. But yeah, I didn't get to watch any of this game. I wasn't home. It was a weird Saturday afternoon is a little weird.
Yes.
But, you know, I was definitely keeping tabs on it. But, yeah, I mean, listen, 33 shots on goal. I like that. You know, 3 different guys had 5 each. I think Nash fired 5 shots. I think Zuccarello fired 5 shots. I mean, Zook had 2 assists. So yeah, I mean, and Lundqvist was good again. I mean, against a really high-powered offense. I mean, you hold the Oilers to 2 goals. And actually, surprisingly, I'm looking at it right now. They haven't been a high-powered offense this year.
No, not much yet. They haven't come out.
17 games played, they've scored 38 goals.
Yeah, it's bad. So the bottom actually.
Tick over 2 a game. Yeah, I don't think any team in the league has scored fewer. No. So that's very surprising. So, you know, we held them to 2 like we should. And we won our, what was that, 6th in a row. So, I mean, look at the standings. It's really weird in these stupid new divisions, these stupid fucking cockamamie divisions. In the Metropolitan Division, the last place team is Philly, and they're over 500.
Yeah, the East is better right now than the West.
There's 2 teams in the whole conference under 500, Buffalo
Right.
and Florida.
Right. And
even
so
the West. If there's 4, listen, there's 4 teams.
I'm listening.
Listen, are you listening closely?
I'm listening.
Your undivided attention.
Here I am.
How many teams in the NHL? 30 or 30 32?
I think it's 30, right?
Say it's 30. Whatever.
Same.
There are 4 teams in the whole league that are under 500. That's it.
That's not bad.
So we talk about parity in the NFL. I mean, Jesus Christ. I mean, that's parity. Or it's paradise.
That's very paradise. Yeah, it's very paradise.
That's
very paradise.
It's paradite. So, you know, and the Rangers are right there, 9-7-2, 20 point at 4 point. I mean, we're second from the bottom in the division, standings wise, but we're 4 points behind the first place team, which is the Devils. Jesus Christ. So, you know,
this team is 6 in a row, trending upwards. Just got to keep the momentum, keep it going. Just got to play well on all facets of the game. Got another tough test. Got to go to Chicago. And you know how that goes. I mean, Chicago has been probably the best behind. I mean, them and Pittsburgh in the last 10 years. If you take 10 years, them and Pittsburgh have probably been the best 2 teams.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's going to be a tough one. And last year we played them tough. You know, we won. We won a tight one against them. They won a tight one against us. So I mean, it's going to be pretty interesting. But I hope they can keep it going.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So, and guys, I want to mention, you know, after the hockey now, and Rye, you're going to like this. Carlos Beltran's retiring.
Yeah.
So what hat does he don if he's in Hall of Famer? Let's say he's a Hall of Famer, because let's have this conversation in a second.
Yeah.
But what hat would he don?
I think he is a Hall of Famer, first of all.
What? Right. But hold on. Before because I know we want to discuss that really quick. What hat would he don? I like saying hat would he don, by the way.
What hat would he don? All right. Well, here's my 2 cents.
Go.
Now I'm looking at the numbers right now, so this isn't really a knee-jerk answer. But it's got to be the Royals and the Mets.
Yep. And
it's very close.
I think so. Because he had a cup of coffee with these other teams.
Right. He played 7 years each with the Royals and the Mets.
Right. Even.
Okay? And all the other teams, nothing more than 3 years, which was his 3rd longest stint, which was his stint with the Yankees. So here are 2 separate 7-year careers. Ready? 1 team, 287, 123 homers, 516 RBIs, 164 steals, and 899 hits. The other team, 280, 149 home runs, 559 RBIs, 100 steals, 878 hits. It's all very, very close.
It's very close.
I mean, the first team was his Royals numbers, and then the second was the Mets. So
I feel like whatever he picks, it's gonna be okay, I guess.
Yeah.
But now let's have that discussion. Is he a Hall of Famer?
It's really close. it's like you could argue it either way, I think.
I mean, some people would say he's a compiler.
Yeah.
Because this is a 20-year career. I mean, it's a 20-year career, and he didn't reach 3,000 hits. So
He had like 2,700 though, right?
Do you hold that against him
No.
for playing 20 years and not being able to reach 3,000 hits?
No, I don't think that's. I don't think that's
something. Yeah, but look at some of these years though. Like, dude, you know what thing about it? If you look, dude, he was injured a lot. And towards the end, he wasn't playing every day. But if you look in some of these middle years, 81 games, 64 games, 98 games, 44 games, 69, 90. He didn't play a lot of full seasons.
Yeah, there's a lot of
injuries. Injuries definitely probably had a factor in the fact that he maybe didn't get to exactly where he should have stat-wise. But the thing about Beltran, all right, forget the 06 curveball, 02 down the middle. Do you remember his ridiculous postseason run with Houston in 2004?
Yeah, the National League.
Probably the best ever.
When he hit like a home run like every at bat.
Yeah, it was like the best ever.
Yeah, it was like the best ever. I mean, dude, the guy's no slouch, man. I mean, 280 career batting average, over 500 doubles, almost 500 home runs.
Well, listen, here's that 2004 postseason, okay? He was 20 for 46. 20 for 46 with 8 home runs, 14 RBIs, 6 steals without being caught. Walked 9 times, struck out only 8. And it was, all-time kind of postseason. And, I mean, Dave talked about the injuries, and he only played 162 games once in his whole career. But if you know how Baseball Reference, they'll give you that 162-game average. So his average season at 162 games is as follows: 279 average, a 350 on base, a 486 slugging, 27 homers, 99 RBIs with 20 steals. So, okay, he's got a Rookie of the Year. Obviously, he won that. All-Star, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9-time All-Stars.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, 3 Gold Gloves, 2 Silver Sluggers. And he finished 4th in the MVP in that 06 season with the Mets. You guys remember that well, 41 and 116.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's a Hall of Famer because he was such a good 5-tool player for a really long time. Did he ever really dominate? I mean, maybe for like 2 years or 3, and the postseason. So maybe that is enough. I mean, 4 straight years of 100 RBIs and 8 total in his career. And he played with all 5 tools for a really long time.
But Mike, didn't you know if you don't dominate, you're clearly like not a Hall of Famer?
Well, I mean, listen, that's a really valid argument. It is, and a lot of people use that as a criteria. Like there's got to be like a 4, 5, 6 year period where you were one of the best players in the game, and a lot of people consider that to be a Hall of Fame. But you could argue he almost was. So, I don't know. I mean, in 3 straight years with the Mets, I mean, 41 and 116, and 33 and 112, and 27 and 112, with 18 plus steals in all 3 years, and Gold Gloves in all 3 years.
Well, you mentioned the steals too. I think for a while, I don't know if it still holds true, he had the best percentage of stolen bases, like to caught stealing. He had the best percentage in baseball history.
Well, looking at it, it's pretty good. I don't know the percentage. I can't do that math in my head, but he has 312 career steals. He was caught 49 times.
Yeah,
that sounds pretty good.
Yeah, I would say that might be the best ever. And that 1 year with the Astros and that run, in the regular season, he played half the year. I think he had 28 steals, but no caught stealing.
I mean, it's good you bring that up. In 2001 with the Royals, he had 31 steals. He was caught once. And then in 03 and 04, he combined for 83 steals, was caught 7 times.
Yeah, that's amazing.
That's crazy.
And I think that those are the type of numbers, that type of stuff, the postseason run, his stolen base percentage. I think that stuff gets him in.
And you know what? Now he's got his ring.
And he got his ring this
Yep,
year.
got his ring.
If you asked me if I thought Beltran was a Hall of Famer, I would say, I don't know. I guess so. That's my honest opinion because and I think the same reason why I think that I don't have ill will towards Beltran. Like he stunk his first year in New York. He didn't stink. Like he was just not. He didn't live up to his contract. Then he really did. He was a great Met after that. And I think that he was booed so much that first year that when he does have the choice of what team he's going to wear the hat, I think he's going to choose the Royals hat.
He was really bad that first year, Rye. Wasn't good.
What he had 17 home runs, 78 ribbies.
It was 16 and 78 with a 266 batting average. He had 155 hits, scored 83 runs. I mean, for a guy who's like, just a normal, just like kind of run-of-the-mill guy in your team who's not like your superstar player. I mean, that's a decent year, but for a guy,
we paid him the money to be the superstar. That's
exactly. That's what I was just about to say. But for the guy that you guys wanted him to be, no, he didn't live up to his potential the first year.
But after that, the next couple years, Rye, absolutely.
Right. So, but I think that we booed him so much in New York that year that I really think he'll just choose the Royals just because of that.
Maybe, but I don't know. I don't know. I think that's long gone, long forgotten.
Maybe. It is weird, though. It's going to be a Met or a Royal, which is probably two of the teams with the least amount of guys in the Hall of Fame wearing their hats.
Right. Hey, and did you know that with the retirement of Carlos Beltran, the entire 2001 backyard baseball roster is now retired?
Wow.
I just saw that online. I was just laughing.
He was the last of the Mohicans, huh?
The last of the Mohicans.
The last samurai?
No.
Are you kidding me?
No.
Oh, well, I just thought that was quite interesting that he retired. I mean, he played a big role, Ryan, in our, watching the Mets, watching him for 7 years. And even you guys, got to watch him for a few years as well. So we both had a taste of Carlos Beltran and his mole.
Giant.
Making all that money. Get that thing lanced off, please.
No.
Just remove it already.
It's part of him. It's part of him.
Lanced.
He had John Neese's nose fixed, but he couldn't get his own.
That's right. He did pay for that.
To be fair, John Neese, now that was a medical condition, guys.
But Beltran paid for it. That's the best part.
I know. Let me help you out, Johnny. I have all this money saved from not taking this smile off my face.
I don't want this chocolate chip off my face, but
like a chocolate chunk. Like the Chips Ahoy with the chunks, not the chip.
Oh my God. Hey, we are so bad.
Hey, congratulations to Carlos Beltran. I mean, really a great career. And whether he makes the Hall of Fame or not, he's right on the cusp.
It'll take him a while to get in.
Good luck.
Yeah, it might.
But I think he will get it eventually.
I think he gets in too. I do. I'm with you, Ryan. I don't really know. That's my opinion as well. But I think he will get in. Think he will.
Half of it is just like these writers and whoever and media people who vote on this crap. I mean, like if they liked him as they liked him throughout his whole career, and he was great. He was great with the media and the writers liked him. Like it's biased, just it's human opinion. So really, like if they liked him, chances are he probably will get in. I mean, so I don't know.
Yeah, it's a wait and see. We'll see. I mean that's far down the line. So. But yeah, congratulations on a good 20-year career for Beltran. Hey, it's been a night, boys. It's been fun. Any last words? David Crudy, got any last words for us?
Yeah, the Giants still suck.
You said it last time. I like it. Keep it up every time. Mike, anything for you?
I want to see quick question. How bad would it have to be for McAdoo to get fired?
How bad?
Like, say they get blown out by Kansas City, 38-10. And the next, and just every week is a blowout. Does he last the whole year?
They keep saying he's not going anywhere until the end of the year. They'll look at everything and make their decision.
Just got to look at the tape.
I'm going to look at his face when I throw something at him. I don't know. I'm going to bash him with. I wish I could. I hear you, Mike. I mean, I don't know. Bri, any last words, my friend?
Hope the Celtics can get number 13 in a row, baby. So hopefully when the next time we see you guys, we'll know. And just excited with this streak. And yes, Dave, the Giants still suck.
I'm on board with you guys with that. And go Rangers too, Mike. Go Rangers.
Always.
So, guys, hope you enjoyed the podcast tonight. Check us out. We're on YouTube, SoundCloud, iTunes, and Twitter, of course. You guys know what to do. We'll be back with our weekly picks and our Fanduel value plays. Enjoy the next couple of days of sports, and we will be back quite soon. So have a good night, everyone.